Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Paleo Kitchen on backyard farm to table cooking. I'm Kelvin, and tonight I'm going to show you how I'm going to make my paleo dinner, making collard greens, and some chicken thighs. I'm going to do two style of chicken thighs, and all of this takes less than 1 hour to do. Now the collard greens take a little longer depending upon who your grandmama was, and who your auntie was, and who your mama is, and so everybody's got their own way of making their collard greens. But you can make collard greens within 45 minutes, which is in the same time frame that the chicken will cook inside the oven at 350. Now, are you going to sit here for 45 minutes and watch me cook? Ain't nobody got time for that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to do the basics, and then we're going to time lapse the whole entire thing. All right, so let's get started. We'll start with the collard greens. I'm going to turn the stove on to medium-high heat. And in that, I'm going to put in 2 cups of water. And for this one, I'm using smoked turkey wings. Now, I know a lot of people use neck bones and pigtails and ham hocks and all kinds of stuff, but I have some people in my family who don't eat pork, and so in order to allow them to be able to eat it as well, I go ahead and I make it with the smoked turkey wings. Not as strong, not as fatty, but just as good in flavor. And I'm gonna put it all in there. Put that away. Get this going up. Also gonna put in 2 teaspoons of country seasoning. That's to get started. And then, like I said, fat is the spice of life, so I'm going to use a 1/4 pound of butter. Now, when you say it that way, it sounds like a whole lot, but a 1/4 pound of butter is only 1 stick, so that's what we're going to put inside there. And please, use butter. Don't use margarine. Don't use that I can't believe it's not butter stuff. Use butter. Unless your doctor said that you need to cut back on it, there's no reason for you not to use it, okay? So, let's go. Put that inside there. I'm gonna put a lid on it, and we're gonna let that come up to a boil. All right, so now that we got that done, I'm going to now start on the chicken. I like to buy the boneless, skinless. Why? Because I could pay less for chicken thighs that has the bone, that has the skin on it, but again, ain't nobody got time for that. So go ahead, just buy exactly what you want, because God bless America, if I wanted this to be skinless with bone, I can buy it. If I wanted this with skin and bone, I could buy it. If I wanted without skin, without bone, I could buy it. Okay? So we have those types of opportunities available to us in most areas of the country, so that you can get exactly what you need without having to go through all the hassle inside your kitchen. So let me go ahead, get these cleaned up, and I'll be right back. In this pack, I always buy the family pack, even though I don't have a family. Oh, don't cry for me, Argentina. Listen, in here, I buy the family pack because the family packs are a lot cheaper. Don't go to the store and say, oh, it's only just me one, so I'm gonna buy the 2-pack. No, they don't give you discounts for a 2-pack or a 4-pack. They give you a discount, 30 cents off a pound, for the 8-pack. the family pack. You can eat some now, save some for later. It's not a big deal, all right? But save the money. But Kelvin, what about the expiration date? Okay, let's get this going, and I'll come back to you and I'll talk to you about expiration dates. All right, so let me get this seasoned up, get it in the pan, we'll get it in the oven, and then we'll talk, y'all. So for this one, I'm just gonna do it barbecue style. I love me some barbecue with barbecue sauce, some good barbecue sauce, and again, just country season, that's all you need, just the basics. Season it up really good. Okay, and then for the other, because it was actually a 9-pack, I thought it was an 8-pack. They fooled me, they gave me an extra one, it was actually a 9-pack. So I've got 4 in here that I'm going to do with barbecue sauce. And then I've got another bowl with 5 that I'm gonna do up baked, but with Cajun seasoning so I get some spice. All right, so now that that's done, all we got to do is simply put it inside the pan, throw it in the oven for about 45 minutes, and it'll be done. Wash your hands real quick. Dry your hands with some disposable paper towels. Don't be using that towel that looks so pretty down on the stove and everything. You know why? Because what if you don't get everything off of your hands? I'm not saying you got dirty hands. What I'm saying is that sometimes we miss a crevice or two, and those bacteria are still on your hand when you go to dry it. Now, if you dry it with that towel, you're gonna put that bacteria that was left over into that towel, and it's gonna start to grow because now the towel is wet. And then what are you gonna do? You're not taking that towel and throwing it straight into the laundry. You're gonna take that towel and you're gonna wipe your hands again. and then you're gonna go and you're gonna help lift something on the stove, etc., and all of that bacteria is gonna start spreading all over the place, and then you wonder why am I feeling so badly right now? That's because you wiped your hands on that towel. Leave the towel for decoration. Leave the towel to help you lift things off the stove and in and out of the oven. All right? Okay. So chicken goes in the oven, 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. Okay, I see steam coming off the pot here for the collard greens, so we must be up to a boil. Yes, indeed, it's coming up really, really nice. I know I say this each time, but y'all should be able to smell this here. Woo. There's gonna be some good eats. Okay. And it's the sink out of the way. Chances of salmonella being on your chicken are pretty small here in America, but don't take no chances. There's no need to take chances. Don't take chances. All right? Keep cleaned up. Keep the spread of chicken juices and blood, etc., to a very minimal. Okay, so collard greens. Normally, I go ahead and I gather collard greens off the farm in the backyard and be able to go. My first batch of collard greens that I grew back there here in South Florida because of our brilliant weather, I grew those same collard greens and ate off of them for a year and a half, not to mention a couple of times taking in collard greens to be able to serve at my restaurant. So let's go ahead now that I don't have none in the back, but we'll be planting them again really soon. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use this here. This is a 2-pound bag. It's already chopped up, it's already clean, because ain't nobody got time to be cleaning and chopping, all right? And it's a lot cheaper than going ahead and buying the whole. In here, I have leaf, chopped up leaf. When you go to the store and you buy that bunch of collard greens, you have leaf and you have stem. And you put it on there for weighing, and you pay for a leaf and you pay for a stem. And then you get home and you clean them up and you cut them up, and where does that stem go? In the trash or in your compost. Well, you paid for that and now you're throwing it away. So don't pay for it. Go ahead, get the bag that's already cleaned up. Unless your mama coming over and standing over you and watching you, go ahead and use this and you'll be just fine. Woo. Not as strong as I thought it was. All right, get that open. Go ahead and put all of this in there. Now, that may look like a lot, but collard greens are mostly water, and as it cooks, it's going to render off that water. So now I don't have to add any more water to this, and it's going to start shrinking. So by the time we get done, this pot's only going to be half full with collard greens. Put the lid on there. Put my knife in the sink. Now let's talk. Expiration dates. Let's see how to put this gently. I know what you were raised and taught. I know what you hear on the radio, what you see on TV, what you see in the supermarkets. Don't you believe it? The Drug Administration, Food and Drug Administration, does not require an expiration date on any food that you buy and eat. Okay? The only thing that is required to have a valid expiration date is infant formula and baby food. Those are the only two things that are required to have an expiration date. So that expiration date on your milk, on your bread, on your meat, on your box of cereal, on everything that you have inside your house is a freshness date. Not an expiration date, it's a freshness date. And if you notice, some manufacturers say use by, or they'll say best if used by. They don't say this product absolutely expires on this date. Now, some of them still do the thing of EXP dot and a date, expires and a date. Be your own judge. Don't be fooled, okay? Now, they've done research and development, but if you know that that milk is gonna last an extra 5 days, then you're not gonna throw what you have away and run to the store and buy another gallon. They don't make money off of you not buying that extra gallon. They make money off of you going, oh, you know what? Today is the 3rd. That milk says the 3rd. I better throw it away. You kids have something else for breakfast. I'm gonna get some more milk on my way home from work, and then we'll have some milk. No. Taste the milk. Look at it. Is it separated? No. 9 times out of 10, that milk is still just fine. We've been lulled into a false sense that if it's the expiration date, it must be thrown away. That is not true. Okay? So, you be the judge. You decide when it expires. A lot of things can be put into the freezer. Okay? And what I like to do when I put things into the freezer that I know I'm not going to use pretty quickly is I like to put the date that I put it into the freezer. Why? Because now when I go and I take and I thaw it out, and then somebody calls me up and says, hey, Kelvin, you want to come over for dinner? Or you want to go check out that new restaurant at such and such a place? Well, now that steak that I took out, I know that initially it had a sell-by date of this, but I put it in the freezer on this date. So now I've got this many days to use it before I need to start considering whether or not it's still good, okay? Don't thaw it out and refreeze it, okay? Still just defrost it inside the refrigerator and go from there. So again, look it up for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Look up, does FDA require expiration date? And it will say in big bold letters, it does not. Okay? All right, so while we're waiting for these things to cook and you all are sitting there getting bored, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this video and we'll come back just before everything is ready so that you can check out the final item and then it'll be time to eat, okay? All right, see you in a bit. We'll take a look at the chicken and we'll keep right on going so I can get to eat. Smells fantastic. The smoked turkey pieces are starting to fall off the bone, which is a very good sign. Now, one of the things I did while we were on pause was I added some red pepper flakes. Now, with all of the cayenne peppers that I've gathered over the last year, I took and dried some and then put them in the food processor and just whipped them up. And so now I have my own crushed red pepper. Okay? So I added some of that inside there so that later on when I'm eating, I don't have to stop and put Tabasco sauce on it. It's all right there. Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add some of this Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Sweet Baby Ray's, brought to you by the finest elixirs of barbecue sauce. Sweet Baby Ray, I absolutely love. He has a number of barbecue sauces that I've used in a pinch, even at catered events and in the restaurant. It's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. And now they have a sugar-free one. Like I said, a lot of these companies are catching on to the fact that a lot of people are using these programs that are helping them to lose weight and require that they not have pure cane sugar inside their foods. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the chicken that is just with the country seasoning. We're gonna add some barbecue sauce on it and then put it back in the oven so it can finish up. That smells good. All right. Brush that all around, so it covers the whole chicken. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that there's no form of sugar inside this sauce. There's actually an ose, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. Okay. Put this back in the oven. And that should be done in just a couple of minutes. So, the ose. Things that end in OSE, dextrose, sucralose, maltose, all of those things are all forms of different types of sugars, okay? Some are better than others. So a lot of times when you get things and it says no sugar added, they're talking about pure cane sugar, okay? But they still have here sucralose, and that's what gives it a slight bit of sweetness. Even if you were to go and you were to put in Splenda, that adds sweetness. It's another form of sugar that allows you to add some sweetness without actually adding sweetness, if that makes sense. Okay, so, but enough. Sweet Baby Ray's is excellent. There's also another brand out there, can't remember his name at the moment, but he also makes the sugar-free, and that's the one that my mama uses. All right, so let's take another quick break, and when we come back, everything will be done, and I'm gonna eat. All right, we're back for the final time so that I can put one last little touch on the collard greens, and then it'll be time for me to eat. So what I'm going to put in here now is some apple cider vinegar. To me, that gives it a little oomph and a little tang. Very good. Even if you don't like vinegar, people tell me they don't like vinegar, but they do love my collard greens, okay? And all my collard greens have apple cider vinegar. So, I will put some in there, about a tablespoon or more. You be your own judge. All right, let's get a little fork and give this a taste. Make sure my seasoning's all correct. That slap your mama good. Now, don't say Kelvin said you should go slap your mama after making this recipe. Because if I even thought about slapping my mama, I better make sure I have all my affairs in order. So it's just a saying, don't take it literally, just means that I think it's very, very good. So we can turn that off. Let's pull the chicken out. There's my Cajun thighs, and I'll let this cool off and put that in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow I'll take and chop this up and make a chicken salad that I make out of some homemade mayonnaise. And I'll have that along with some lettuce, tomato, onion, and put it in a cassava flour wrap, and that'll be lunch. And now this is my barbecue chicken. Very, very good. And this I'll have for dinner. So I know it's not fair, but I've got to plate it up because I'm starving. So let me get that plate. Take and put some collard greens on there. Try to get some of that goodness in there. The smoked turkey pieces. It's not just for garnishing though. Then get some of this barbecue chicken. Just 2 of the 4 pieces because I am on a weight loss program. And oh my gosh, that was so good. Excuse me. All right, so thank you for joining me. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know what you thought of the video. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, because we have lots more videos, because I got lots more time on my hands. You have a good night. Bye-bye.